All right, so it's day 13 of the Order Flow Bootcamp, and in this episode, I want to talk about some things that a lot of traders get trapped into whenever they're first learning or first starting a trade, and that is simply trying to learn too much. Quite literally, I have given you a foundation that you could use, and it's basically all you would need. And just to recap, what I mean by that is aligning with the higher time frame context, using locations of interest, and then finding confirmation for your trade idea using the order flow. And that is pretty much all you need to do. Now, obviously, it's deeper than just those three things. That's just the surface level. But whenever you're done learning about the higher time frame context, finding your levels, and then you actually know what setups you're looking for on a daily basis, that's all the learning you need to do. And as far as information, and you can always learn stuff, but it's not going to make you better. The biggest thing I can recommend to all of you guys, especially at this point in the boot camp, if you're here, this is where getting the reps is the most important thing you can do. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You want to have all of your setups nailed down so you know exactly what you want to see every single time. And whenever you see it, then you take the trade. Or you want to know when you don't want to trade. And as you are gathering data, as you are trading and building a backlog of history, all of the good and all of the bad, you're going to accumulate data that you can review and learn from. So you should always be reviewing every single one of your trades, win or loss or break even. Keep it in a trade journal. I recommend TradeZello. They're the best. If you want a link to TradeZello, it's in the description. But the most important thing now, after you actually know your system and how you're going to trade, is getting the reps in. This is the most important work. A lot of people, instead of actually getting reps in, and I'll explain how you can do that in a second here, a lot of people get caught in this trap where they might be making mistakes here and there, and then they will end up blaming it on a strategy, or maybe they're not even reviewing it, and they're not actually seeing what they did wrong, or they're just simply not taking accountability for they're losing trades. Now, to be completely honest, this is not something that I've struggled with. I've always been someone who can reflect on my own decisions, I think sometimes better than other people. But I have seen so many people just get caught in the loop of learning and learning and learning. And if they don't see success, then they learn the next strategy that essentially resets you to square one. So you don't want to do that. You don't need to do that. There's so many strategies that work. You don't have to trade supply and demand with order flow. You might have a different way, but use order flow for confirmation. But there's so many systems and strategies that can work within the market. Number one thing you have to do at this point, once you know how you're going to trade, is you need to practice trading how you're supposed to trade. The way I like to do it is I like to just pick a random day on the chart in my data. It could be a winning day, it could be a losing day. And then what I will do is I will chart up the session just as I would for a pre-market analysis. And then I will pull up the replay data from that session and I will trade the plan that I created whenever I remark the session up. So I'm just going to show you guys an example of this. And when I say getting the reps in, this is what I mean. Some people might call this back testing. I don't really know if it's technically considered back testing. I just call it getting reps in. So this is what you're gonna do is on TradeZello, there's a section strictly for back testing. This is my favorite way. Could in theory just use TradingView and use the replay feature. And for example, you could just go to the replay and then select the dates you want to go to, whatever dates you want to go to. But I like to do it on TradeZella just because it saves the session and you can like see how you mark the chart up and remark the chart up. So you come into the TradeZella backtesting session, which is right here, and you will create a session. Whenever you create a session, then you're going to come in here, name the session. If you want to add a description, whatever, add all your playbooks and your symbol of interest, and then you're going to pick a date. For some reason this date's not working, but I like to do the session open until my normal hours, which is around 11 a.m. Central. You create the session and it's going to drop you in the chart right at the market open for this session. So what I like to do is this is whenever I will start charting the session out just as I would for any other trading session every single day. Like I will literally create a whole pre-market plan right here. And like I said, you can do this on TradingView using the replay feature if you want. I like TradeZello I like TradeZello to do it, but you mark up the session or you mark up the chart exactly how you would. You create a session plan. Once you have a session plan for the session, so then once you have a session plan, what I like to do is I will open the replay data up on Bookmap, and then I will also open up the replay data on Sierra Chart or whatever other software you guys use. And then I will sync up the replay data so that they start at the same exact time. So for the TradeZello chart, we're not going to be watching this live. We are just going to be taking the levels that we developed. We're just going to be taking the levels that we found in our pre-market plan and marking our replay charts up. So Bookmap replay and then Sierra chart replay, marking up those sessions and then playing the replay data synced up with each other on Sierra and Bookmap. And we are literally just going to trade the session just as we would any other session. We're not going to play it on 8x speed. We're not going to speed it up crazy. We are literally going to sit here and trade it like a normal session. The most I would go is 2x speed. I don't think there's anything wrong with 2x speed, but you don't want to be trading it. You want it to be as realistic as possible. You want to get a realistic rep in. And you do this as many times as you want, obviously, but this is the best way to get reps in and the best way to actually develop yourself outside of the live markets, other than actually journaling and reviewing, of course. But just doing this alone, like, you guys are going to see this for yourself. Like, you are going to gain so much confidence in your trading by doing this, because you are going to see what works, what doesn't work, and it's just going to it's going to solidify everything in your brain, because every single day you can show up to the markets live and you can trade them live, right? But that's only one rep. Every single day you're getting one rep, and that's good still. If you're showing up every day and you're trading live and you're reviewing your trades and you're taking it seriously, that's obviously great still. But a way you can enhance your confidence, enhance your learning, solidify all of these concepts in your brain is by getting as many real reps as possible. So this is going to help you coming into the session beforehand. Like, you're going to get better at charting and marking levels because you're going to be doing this every single time you do it. And then on top of that, you're going to get way better at executing, and you're going to really develop, and you are going to see yourself, like, after you get a good day of reps in. Like, I like to do this on the weekends, and I will just go for hours, to be honest, with sometimes. Every single time I do this, like, my confidence in my system and my confidence in my analysis gets boosted by a lot. Like, if I do this on the weekend, I am so much more prepared and just mentally clear on how I'm going to trade the week, or just at least as far as execution. Like, I execute way better whenever I do this the weekend before the actual live trading week. This is hands down the best work you can do to develop your trading. You don't need to learn more stuff. Obviously, we want to learn forever. We're never going to stop learning. I'm not going to say you're ever going to need to stop learning, but as far as actually refining and improving your decision making, learning from other people is great, but you need to actually put in reps yourself, and you need to develop that muscle neural pathways in your brain for yourself. It's just going to take longer if you don't do this. If you do this a lot, it's going to speed up your ability to mark up a session and then on top of that trade the session, as far as doing it properly and doing it well. I literally cannot recommend this enough. And then obviously the next thing is journaling, and not just reviewing and going through the motions whenever you're reviewing, but intentionally sitting down and not rushing a review session, not rushing a journal session, like treating this very seriously and spending time and putting all of your focus on your review sessions when you're reviewing, not like doing one thing, checking your phone, seeing what the next thing was, checking your phone. Eliminate the distractions. Focus on what you're doing in the present moment, and do that whenever you're going through the replay data and getting the reps in. I'm telling you guys, the confidence is going to be boosted just every single time you do this. Every single time. So you guys might have seen me on my TikTok live. I used to do this a lot live on TikTok just because I was going to do it anyway. So I was like, why not just go live on TikTok while I do it. Fuck it. And this is something that I would do a lot, and I still do it at least every weekend. And it just helps so much with going over your errors, but not only that, replaying what actually did go well and what trades worked out and why they worked out. It's going to do a lot for you, I promise. You don't need to learn the next strategy, the next system. Just focus on your strategy and your process and executing it at its highest potential. Everything else is kind of still work, but a lot of people just like to think they're doing work. And to be completely honest with you, that's like an ego thing. A lot of people just like to sit here and learn about something thinking that it's actually going to help them or it's actually going to change things for them. But if you're not learning anything, or if you're not doing any sort of research that is specifically related to your system and your process, you are wasting your time. Get the reps in. The reps are going to do so much more for you than watching a YouTube video. I promise you. Like, definitely need to get the foundation of knowledge. That's a no-brainer. Like, figure out how you're going to create a plan, figure out how you're going to find your levels, figure out how you're going to trade those levels. After you know exactly what you're going to do, put the reps in. That's something I would have changed about myself when I first started. I was journaling, but I was not putting in reps. I was not doing replay data and reviewing sessions and treating replay data as if it was a real session. If I would have done that earlier on, I think it would have helped me a lot. And I think I would have sped up my journey a lot more. But yeah, doing this is how you solidify your process and your strategy and refine your execution. And I know I keep saying it, but the confidence you're going to get from doing this just for like a day, even if you do a week worth of sessions in a day, you're going to walk out of that feeling like a completely different person. Like, I promise you, you're going to walk out of that review session and you are going to feel like you know exactly what you want to see, exactly where you want to see it, and exactly how you're going to trade it. You're going to feel like that. Can't recommend that enough. If you guys want Bookmap, link in the description for a discount. If you need TradeZella, link in the description. Those are the two most important tools I would recommend anyone trading order flow. I could only have two tools, period. I would choose Bookmap and TradeZella hands down all day. So if you guys want access to those, you can check the link in my description. But since we just talked about the setups you're going to trade in this order flow bootcamp, you know what they are. So now you just got to go back and replay them and get really good at trading them and identifying them and actually spotting when you want to look for them to appear. So I hope you guys are getting value out of this bootcamp. If you are, leave a comment, like the video. Order flow Discord is in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.